everyone, this is Mel from Cardstock Concoctions. I am back bringing you guys another of my 12 Days of Christmas projects. And I call this one my hanging Santa card. And I wanted it to kind of look like a wall hanging that you have on your wall. I just really liked it. And so this is what I came up with. So let's go ahead and get started. Set that up to the side. So what are we going to need today? We're going to start with a piece of Early Espresso cardstock. I'm sorry about the glare, guys. I cannot get rid of it in order for you guys to see. So there's going to be a little bit of shadow today. I'm so sorry. But again, Early Espresso cardstock. It is 5.5 inches tall by 8.5 inches wide. And it is scored down the center at 4 1/4. Go ahead, fold that in half. If you guys are a fan of bone folders, go ahead and burnish with your bone folder. And your card base, you're done with, basically. So go ahead and set that aside for just a few minutes. Then you're going to need a piece of cherry cobbler. Now your piece of cherry cobbler is 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. Again, that's 4 inches wide, 5 1/4 inches tall. And we have another piece of Early Espresso cardstock that is 2.5 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And we are going to go ahead and stamp on those today. Now, what are we going to stamp on those using? Well, first of all, we're going to use Timeless Textures. I'm actually going to set this in the center here. Timeless Textures. And we're going to use like this wood stamp here. And we're going to do it over everything. In my original, I did both this checkered pattern and the wood. I'm just going to try the wood first. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with that. So grab your Early Espresso ink. And we're going to take our stamp. Now, there is really no rhyme or reason to how I did this. I turn everything on its side. Don't ask me why. So if you want your wood grain to be going across, go ahead and stamp across. I want mine going up and down. So that's what I'm going to do. And just stamp everywhere. Now, I made mine uneven on purpose, as you guys can see. I got a little piece over here that needs to still be done. Just because I don't like everything to be even and pretty. Wood is not even. Wood is not pretty. Wood is not the same all over. However, if you are, I would go ahead and grab your Stamp-A-Majig and pull that out and go ahead and use that on your cardstock. That will allow you to line everything up. However, with Timeless Textures, it's not really a needed item. So at least that's what I always think. But again, it's your personal preference. I'll go ahead and keep stamping here. Okay, so we got that one all stamped up. Go ahead and set that to the side. Grab in your other Early Espresso cardstock here. I'm going to make these wood go across. Now, it's going to be a much fainter, much more faint, I guess, because you're stamping Early Espresso on Early Espresso. So it's not going to be quite as bright. You're not even actually going to see the entire thing, but I always like to give a little extra texture to everything I do. Okay, that's all done. So you're done with your Timeless Textures. So let's go ahead and set both these pieces aside just for a few seconds, and we're going to pull in our Father Christmas stamp set. It is gorgeous, right? So today we're going to be using this actual Santa here, and we're going to be using this holly leaf here. Now, well, I'm only going to do the outside. I did the inside, as you guys can see. Oh, nope. I'm not even using the holly texture in this one. I forgot, different card. So I made another card using the holly. So I actually stamped this Christmas greetings in the bottom one here so you can write in the center. That was really pretty. We're not going to go ahead and do that today just to save some time, but that's what you can do. Okay, back to what we were doing. So we don't need that stamp. Sorry about that. Different card. Got mixed up. So you want a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. My Very Vanilla is a little bit larger. Mine's like 3 3/4 or 3.5 or whatever by about 4 3/4. You don't need that much. In my directions, it will say 3 by 4. You'll see why. You're actually going to be tearing this, and that's why. So you want to get your Santa nice and inked up. Make sure he's got lots of ink. I'm going to stick him as close to the center as I can get him. Go ahead and make sure it's good, clear, firm image. Ooh, I like it. Okay, so we're done with that. Now, You're not quite done with your espresso yet, but go ahead and close it up for just a few minutes and pull in a blender pen. I love blender pens. I have come to love blender pens. I'll put this right side up. And we're actually going to color in Santa. We're going to color in parts of Santa. We're going to grab our cherry cobbler ink. Make sure we've got some in the lid there. Open this up. And we're going to use our blender pen, and we're actually just going to color in his jacket. All right, so how do you use a blender pen? Go ahead and stick it right in the ink. And a blender pen, as it gets used up, gets lighter and lighter and lighter, as you guys can see, until it's basically all gone. That's how a blender pen works. So I always kind of start mine off to the side. And then there's no real rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. I'm just going in and I'm coloring. Now, as I'm coloring, I may decide to fast forward this. So you guys don't have to watch me color the entire thing. So just go ahead and watch. I'm going to fast forward and I will come back with the next color in a minute. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I've gotten all of my Santa coat colored finally, and it took me a while. Not the best coloring job I've ever done, but not the worst either. So go ahead and clean off your blender pen. Just keep wiping it until you see clear. Next color we're going to pull in is Garden Green. And now that I've cleaned off my brush until I've seen clear, go ahead and push down a couple of times. Ooh, can I get my Garden Green ink pad open? There we go. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. So when I'm done with Garden Green, I will be back. I'm going to color the tree and a couple of flowers and maybe part of some of like the toys. I'm not going to color all the toys, but just some of them. So fast forwarding again. See you guys in a few seconds. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I finished up with my green. I'm going to kind of, again, do the same thing with my marker that I did before. And now in my original, I have some brown. So I went ahead and I pulled in one shade lighter than the Early Espresso, and that is Soft Suede. Go ahead and get some stuff in the ink pad. And I did a couple of things with the Soft Suede. I not only colored his boots and his satchel, but I also colored the teddy bear and his gloves. But I tried to, you know, do the teddy bear and things like in the satchel and stuff, all different varying shades of brown. So I'm going to try to do that again. So again, I'm going to fast forward for you guys. But I did the boots really, really dark. And then I tried to lighten as I went up. So see you guys in a few seconds. All right, there we go. And our Santa is 100% colored. So again, just to clean it off, just keep going until you see nothing. And your brush is clean. Okay. So now that we've got everything colored, and everything like that, let's go ahead and get ready to assemble. Now, we have a little bit left to do. So first we're gonna like tear across our Santa, and I do a big wide strip first, and then I go back with my fingers and I get closer. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side without ripping across your tree, ripping off part of your tree, I should say. You wanna just do like a really rough, close, rough border. And if you tear towards you, you get this like really rough edge here. If you tear away from you, that rough edge is on the other side. Just to let you guys know. Little trick of the trade here. But again, I just tear it off, and to control my tears, I use two fingers. I put them next to each other and then I tear. Okay. So kind of pull some of that away. Pull some of this top stuff away. Okay. And you have your torn piece. Get all that stuff out of the way. There we go. Now we're going to grab in our Early Espresso again. And actually, before we do that, sorry, one last step. We are going to, like in this original card, we're going to make everything a little bit frayed around the edges. And the best way to do that, if you guys don't actually have a fraying tool, just take your edge of your scissors and just run it around the edge of your cardstock. Now, I only did it on the small Early Espresso piece and the Cherry Cobbler piece because, well, let's face it, it took too much time. This is one of those cards that, you know, it's beautiful and it's gorgeous and it's not too hard to make. It's just a little more time consuming due to the coloring. And this just kind of grunges that up just a little bit. If you guys have really great fingernails, I do not, but that also works. I just use my scissors. So, okay, as you guys can see, it kind of flakes off just a little bit here. Let's go ahead and clean off my work surface. All right, now we're gonna grab in our Early Espresso card base, a sponge, Early Espresso ink, and we are just going to ink everything. Now, I don't go too heavy inking on the Early Espresso card base because sometimes people see it, sometimes they don't. But I do ink everything, and you can see a difference from inked to uninked. So I do like to ink everything. Just gives it a smidge more of an antique-y look, I guess is the word I'm going for. I'm going to do the cherry cobbler next. A little more grunge. And you can go as dark with your inking or as light with your inking as you wish. Okay, last one. Yep. Okay. I think I went around all four sides there. Now for our very vanilla. This is the one that you can really, really, really tell if you ink it or not. So again, I just went all the way around it. I was not pretty. He's supposed to be a little antiqued. He's supposed to be a little grungy. He's a little bit of he's an authentic Santa, as my mom likes to call him. So there we go. Okay, so we got all of our pieces. You are now done with your inking of all kinds. Let's go ahead and set everything like that aside. Let's wipe this off. Okay, so we need to do one more thing before we can start layering. In our original card here, you see that there's a brad in here. Now, Stampin' Up! Does not sell these like large gold brads. I found this one at, I think, Michael's like eons and eons and eons ago. But that's what I found it. I'm going to grab my 1/8 inch circle punch. Find out which side you like as your top. Aim for what I like to call the center. I don't measure it. I eyeball it. If you guys feel a desire to measure it, find the center. And you guys want to go as close to this top edge as you can get, but that your brad will actually sit all the way in it. So you want to make sure your hole is in deep enough, but not too deep, because then your cardstock's kind of on top of each other. So go ahead and stick that in there, punch your hole, and place your brad, turn it sideways, and there it goes. Now, I will warn you, I have no idea how well this will travel in the mail. I don't know. I haven't tried yet. Not quite in the center, but close. Okay. So, then we're going to pull out our Baker Twine Trio pack here. And I got this gold, and you really don't need that much of it. I always cut off more than I always need. But you only need like 2-3 inches of it, to be honest with you. This trio pack comes with gold, garden green, and cherry cobbler in it. I think it's a great little Baker's Twine Trio pack. It's awesome. And so how I like to do it is I then wrap it around my brad. Oh, move my paper. Hope I didn't get my brad in there too tightly. There we go. Turn this over. Now you might want to use tear tape or fast fuse, but for time's sake, I'm going to use snail. Put a little bit of snail in both ends of your corners of your card. Figure out where you want to place it in the center there. And then just kind of stick one end in onto your Baker's Twine. And then stick, readjust your other end. Apparently I need to go smaller. Okay. The way I did it the first time is not working the second time. So we're going to cut a little bit of this off. There we go. Wrap it around. Stick it there. And then run some more adhesive. Again, I might suggest you guys to use fast fuse or tear tape for that. process, it might stay a little bit better. Either that or don't put your brad in quite as far. So I'm actually going to hang mine first and then put my brad back down, I guess. My first time I didn't put the brad in I put the brad in first and figure out where I want it. There we go. Stick it down, then turn my brad back over. There we go. Okay, so there's that. So now you've got your hanging, there we go. Okay, now we're going to attach this to our card base. Okay, almost done. Stick that in the center. There we go, and then I'm going to turn him over, grab a couple of dimensionals. All right, we're going to go 3 because I like to ensure I don't want a droopy middle. Go ahead and pull those off and stick him in the middle there. So there we go. We have our hanging Santa card. I hope you guys really enjoyed this project. I enjoyed making it. I love a little bit of the rustic Christmas, and I know that's very in this year. So this is my nod to rustic Christmas this year. This is Mel from Cardstock Concoctions asking you to like it if you enjoyed and to subscribe if you want to see more. I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks. Bye.